Alright, so our new video here is for section 5 of chapter 4 in geometry, and we're going to use hypotenuse leg to prove triangles are congruent. So first off, I have this right triangle here in the notes. You see that 90-degree angle there. We need some labels. There's two legs and a hypotenuse in a right triangle. So when I'm talking about hypotenuse leg, you know what I mean. The hypotenuse is opposite of the right angle, and then the two legs include that right angle. Our theorem here for hypotenuse leg, which we'll shorten HL, right, is that if the hypotenuse, second there, dragging my pen a little weird, hypotenuse and leg of a right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and leg of another triangle, the triangles are congruent. So this technically is going to be a version of ASS that's allowable. You can only do it if it's a right triangle, but otherwise this is going to pop up in our proofs and our problems as we go forward, right? Summary, we had lots of ways to prove triangles are congruent before. We could use side, side, side. We could use side, angle, side. We could use angle, side, angle. We could do angle, angle, side. We were not allowed to do, right, angle, angle, angle. Right? That doesn't work. We weren't allowed to spell bad words, right? But now we get a new one. We can do hypotenuse leg. Right? So leg down there, that's just a side angle side on a right triangle, so we don't really need to know that. They're not as useful as you might think. So these are extra possibilities for right triangles only. But if I know the leg and the right angle, then I have a side angle side. That angle is included. Hypotenuse acute angle, right, is the same thing as angle, angle, side. Whoops. Too many A's there. On a right triangle. So both of these are on right triangles. And then that leg acute angle is angle, angle, side. Also angle, side, angle on a right triangle. So these are just things that don't really need to know because we're not really going to use those. But hypotenuse leg is definitely going to come into play. We got to know that. So when we have those same problems from before, some of the things that were none before might become hypotenuse leg. But this first one here, right, all I have is angles on this triangle. So if I get a color here so I can be distinct, that angle, this right angle, this angle. So this is still angle, 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 so not really a thing. This is a none. But this next one that would have been a problem before, right? Or maybe not. This one that from before, it looks like a angle side side right now, but I can use new things now to figure out that I have a congruency here. Don't forget that you have CITT that can tell you that this leg and this leg are congruent on that isosceles triangle. So this one's actually a side angle side, or a side side side. Next one, reflexive. This one's going to be multiple things. This could be side angle side, because I do know this angle up here that is included in those, between those sides. But since I have a right angle in here too, all I would have needed with this right angle is the hypotenuse and one of the legs. So this is the first one that I could have used hypotenuse leg if I wanted to, right? But I was given enough to do a side angle side, so I don't really have to do hypotenuse leg. Next one here, I have vertical angles, so I can do angle side if I want. Next one, this is the one that would have been none before, right? There's no way we could have done it because it's got, I have an angle and I know that both of these are right angles. Because both of these are right triangles, but since they are right triangles and I have the hypotenuse and I have that shared side, this is going to be a hypotenuse leg. Those triangles are congruent. We weren't able to do that before, now we can. So again, before we would have thought about that as being angle side side, but for right triangles only, you can actually do hypotenuse leg. It has to do with the fact that that 90-degree angles eliminate some opportunities, right? Before we had two possible outcomes when we tried to do that angle side side in class, but now since I have a right angle, the two other angles have to be acute, so there is no obtuse ambiguous answer. So it's part of the reason why that works, why you can have that hypotenuse leg. But otherwise, some of these are just what they were before. This example is going to be angle side angle. Nothing changed. I don't need to know hypotenuse leg for everything, just some of these, right? This one I know my shared side here, but since I don't know any of the other sides, this is still a none. If I would have been told one of those legs, I could have done hypotenuse leg. Like this next one, I was told the short leg on both of these triangles, so this one definitely would work, but it's got to be a hypotenuse leg. It has to be a right triangle, because otherwise angle side side spells a bad word, right? So it only works for right triangles, but definitely something we can do now.